From 93 to 95, there was a show on NBC that was produced by Steven Spielberg. It was kind of a big deal, called SeaQuest. When that came out in 93, I watched everything that Jonathan Brandis was in. Yeah, sure did. So I quickly became obsessed with the show. And in 94, an earthquake happened in Northridge, California, and it was severe enough so that it destroyed pretty much the set of SeaQuest out here, and they had to move production to Orlando. Orlando? That's where I was as a teenager. Age 16, Jonathan Brandis and the show is coming to me. It was coming to me because God listened. He did. All I knew was that I had to get on the set. I always had year passes to Universal Studios, which on the back lot, can I even call that a back lot? So I knew that I could sneak onto the set. That I was positive of. I was on the show 3 times, the first 2 times having snuck on the set. And I was tall and could pass as an adult. I saw a wardrobe cart going by and I was like, excuse me, where's wardrobe? I'm lost. And got suited up and got on the show. There's even one moment, where I have a full, like, 2-second close-up. It was very exciting as a diseased crew member.
Sir, I'm on a full biomedical alert.
The 4th time that I would have been an extra, I got a call, and I distinctly remember that I said no. And that day I had a biology test, and I didn't want to miss the biology test. What? Why was I so neurotic about getting good grades in high school? It did me no good. That scene mainly was only Don and Jonathan. And then it got canceled, like days after. This is actually a still shot from that episode of Don and Jonathan clearly looking for me that day. They didn't know they were looking for me, but am I right? Anyhow, I never got to meet Jonathan Brandis. That's a whole other thing. The first season did really, really well. And the second season got a little sci-fi. And it kind of jumped the shark. It actually jumped a giant crocodile. Halfway into the 3rd season, the show got canceled, which naturally was the season that I was on. And it was a crime against fate, my fate. The writers and the producers, they were going to fall in love with me, you see, on set. And I was going to get written into the show. And it was going to be great. And that was going to be my catapult to stardom. That worked out. It's all because SeaQuest got canceled, but that has not happened. The one part that did make a huge impression was the diseased crew member day. And at one point I was in a gurney, and one of the actors, back to one, was pretty darn close to my gurney. And every now and then he would kind of look down and smile, or, you know, do a gesture of, you know, how you doing? And, you know, listen, most stars don't pay any attention to the extras, but he, out of all the cast, was by far the most genuine and lovely, and just, it made a huge impression on me. On the show, his character was Commander Jonathan Ford. Yeah. All these years later, me having moved out to LA, my boyfriend was looking for a certain type of insurance, so I'm Googling out here in the Valley different establishments, and I come across a name of a company named Don Franklin Insurance. Oh, that's the name of one of the actors from SeaQuest. But I never really in a million years thought it would be Commander Ford. Just because, what are the odds? But it's him, it was him. So I wrote him and asked a couple questions that were actually relevant to the insurance, but the rest of my email was like, hi, I remember you because I saw you on the set 18 million years ago and you were really kind to me and I really appreciated it and all that good stuff. And he wrote back. And so for the past, I don't know, many moons, we've been trying to connect again at some point for coffee or for whatever. Basically, just so I could meet him again as an adult, or the version of whatever I am now, older, now that I'm older. And it finally happened. We ended up going to lunch together, and it was the best. It was the trippiest. And I only geeked out on him a little bit, just for a little bit, just a little. He's lovely and down to earth and genuine and fantastic. But if you will fold that out, granted, it's in a little rough condition,
I just had
but
drinks with this guy the other night.
did you know?
I did indeed, and I'll tell you what else I had drinks with. I think drinks with this guy.
Oh, is that right?
We call him Fast Eddie Crow. Can't disclose where that comes from. And with this guy, Marco Sanchez.
Right on.
Yes, and can't forget Mikey.
Yes, indeed.
Mikey DeLuise.
Right on. Oh, and I brought a Sharpie.
Good.
Because you have to have a Sharpie.
It's much better than a Dully. So
yeah,
they just work better.
Love it.
Right by my picture where I look like I just smoked a doobie. Who approved that picture? That's the worst picture I've ever seen.
You look very serious and pensive, yet commanding.
And where'd that hair come from? I must have been wearing a wig.
Oh, this is fantastic right now. You have no idea. You have no idea. You can't fathom it. Well, it's probably best you don't fathom it. Your commander, Jonathan Devon. Yes.
As in measurements of sea depth?
Oh, hey now.
Did you just make
Hey now.
You just made it funny.
I did. So listen, now I'm gonna, isn't it terrible that I'm trying to get you to do things against your will? But just, can you do any kind of where, let's say that I don't know, but I've come on the ship. Can you do any line where you're talk to me as Commander Ford? Just even one line.
Why is that woman out of uniform? We don't do yellow flowers. We don't do yellow flowers.
No.
Why are you out of uniform?
And
you're gonna have to talk to the Captain Bridger.
I can perish now. Do you understand? I'm good to go. Good to go. That just happened. Commander Jonathan Devon Ford right there of the SeaQuest. Amazing. One of the best things ever, quite frankly. Yeah. Frankly. John Franklin. I got to have lunch with Commander Ford. What? I pull off some pretty interesting stuff sometimes, but how did that happen? And Dawn, if you happen to ever watch this video, thank you. Thank you. Don't know what may have possessed you to take a chance on meeting with a complete stranger, but I thank you that you did, and you are fantastic and wonderful and very handsome. Can I say that? Kudos.